the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
I was for Kwame Sefa Kayi, a morning show host, a Peace FM. Na ene oni NPP member of parliament for Kwame North, Sammy Awuku. One or sign a vice chairman, Parliament Committee on Public Administration and State Interest, Education and Komo and Anope. Now, almost 7 or more canon effort John Dramani Mahama, a cancellation of fuel allowances and fuel allocations for all political appointees. And some no now, and rather, you on the floor of Parliament, Sammy Awuku on the side of minority caucus, as original on a name, a catch a speaker added to Parliament and him say. John Dramani Mahama sa abolishing ya we and as a cancellation ya we no enya de bia eto asono na se obi age tum kwa na mo minority de omo engine tum any saying John Dramani Mahama per se or che oman ni nyina attention e di efri eye sa 11 cedi levy na ode ato 1 liter of every fuel a obeto e wo man Ghana mu ha no eso eno ana che minority no another on the floor of Parliament omo original e de sa ensemi etudwa a enne Sammy Awuku ana ode ensem so asanya to eye Kwame Sefa Kayi anim ana wakache Kwame in fact John Dramani Mahama Kwame person of aso eye saade we no ade bia wa share that person ode twa mind attention and the free sa ni D levy na ode eba ye no eso yenye so ni twa se sa D levy 11 D levy na ode eba no ade bia on person agitum as see am no kase according to reporting just say before crampo and I say on the side of other areas and as regions no o ma start implement sa 11 cedi levy no eno na say John Dramani Mahama e person this a cancellation of fuel allowances for all government appointees no or they treat on my attention e di free so na in fact ene Kwame Sefa Kayi ene Sammy Awuku aka Nsem-Pii na say dey actually John Dramani Mahama e fa sa 11 cedi levy no ene sa cancellation of fuel allowance for all government appointees no yenye bre ninti ensema omode to dwa ene anope.
Vice Chairman Parliament Committee on Public Administration and State Interest enra ode Nsem-Pii to dwa ewo mrahye bedwam na obia budget so say fuel allowance cancellation in Kayi but they also a populist move
but that's maybe kind of my main chair we're here for.
Yeah, Joseph.
My mom about to mom said because you are standing in the gap and now you are playing your role as the fourth estate of the realm.
Yeah, that's it.
Mujremo at the mamam for. Na banye bibia e bonabaso. Abanya de see hwehwemu so amobo am yebusa the right questions. Chairman, on the surface, the press release in Kayi, on the surface.
In Kayi?
Yeah, now, ama yetimi the cost of running the government machinery. It beats me, if you try near many be a waste in the system, and I be in the efficient running of government. Just near Beboa, ama a bit near Juma or minus bit near Sefa Guadaroma, Kenya. In 2022, about COVID, President Akufo-Addo, BBC, 2 years had the kind. In fact, all appointees, the ministers, deputy ministers, some categories of appointees near there, 30% salary cut, including district chief executives near there. These are the direct appointees of the president. Now, we also say about fuel allocation. Now, our order say the government machinery, any ministers near there, yes, slashes so by 50%. Senator Betimi Esewusika. This was what President Akufo-Addo did. Mahama won. President Mahama first term. Almost a far catcher said, Omar Bresso said there was 10% salary cut. But subsequently, Auditor General's report, he says 10% of the cut, so use the back door to claim that money again, according to the Auditor General's report. Subsequently, they now release our bind by, and I may say, on the surface, but there are some questions that must be asked. And no meeting a medicine between maybe can. I see defining who is a political appointee at the release, it's as a president appointing almost 5,000 people into positions, including board members, including directors of boards, including heads of security agencies. But mind you, the head of the immigration service is an appointee of the president.
Yeah.
The Inspector General of Police is an appointee of the president.
Yes, of course.
your friend is saying the chief of defense staff is an appointee of the president. That's also a municipal and district chief executives, CEOs, director generals, managing directors, ministers of state, deputy ministers of state. These are all appointees of the president. Is the president saying that these appointees are Oman Chirimono? He includes even heads of these security agencies here there. They say it's almost from Obotum Scanner to go and do the work on behalf of the service and on behalf of government. And I know you want. So you've been hearing Chirimo as to which of these qualify in that release norm the buy. I know you want. Number two, what is the definition of that fuel allowance? I see a busem. A buy will never spend 1 Ghana cedis on fuel for any political appointee and until when? Are they also to use their own money? If you bring your clarity on this one, because if I see a busem say a buy a mocha 1 Ghana in supporting and fueling these appointees in the discharge of their duties, then what will be the implications of this on these appointees on the ability to operate? Because there's a co-gracie occasion, there's a IDP, immigration service head, there's a fuel. That is not just and the excuse will be that it be an mini fuel. And also appointees, municipal and district chief executives are also the day-to-day running of the assemblies and the various institutions of say, how do they embark on this journey? And see, I find that if you are saying totally scrapping, it's populist because you may not be able to sustain it. And they will not be able to function. They will pretend they will be working because your management, your attention, to could be an again, there are another critical group of people. A state-owned enterprise. In fact, Parliament Committee, Mayor Vice Chairman on Public Administration and State Engineering, you have state-owned enterprises in your oversight responsibilities over them. Now, over state-owned enterprises here, Mahama, an example, you have some Mineral Income and Investment Fund. Mahama say be a Ghana Gas. Mahama say be a MPA. You appoint you. Normally, what happens is that the president's green letter now or the ban.
Yeah.
Or say the board, the president will appointed Chairman General Kwame Kayi to be chief executive, acting chief executive officer for the National Petroleum Authority. In that letter, the last paragraph, he always states that the president, the board should regularize the appointment in consultation with the Public Services Commission. So the board should regularize the appointment in consultation with the Public Services Commission. What happens is that Public Services Commission will now interview Kwame Sefa as the acting CEO. And they are satisfied with the answers, the qualification, the expertise and experience. No more the confidential letter come Mampeni. Mampeni share the report, then the Mampeni, when satisfied, the Kwame Apafia would then write to Public Services Commission to confirm his appointment of Kwame Sefa as the CEO. Okay. Public Services Commission, in doing that for all CEOs, would then ask Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, they will write them to them to compute Kwame Sefa conditions of service and entitlement. Now, if you that letter finally, it's a green letter, then a white letter will come from Public Services Commission, confirming the president's appointment and detailing your conditions of service as contained in the appointment. If you are you better say you're entitled to fuel, you're entitled to this, you're entitled to that. Until they start release way back, then you must as well inform Public Services Commission, inform Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the Mampeni intends in into the agencies of state should then now take it up together with the board to scrap all those ones from the appointment letters.
And Opache says, I winning now, am I?
And oh my, if and all kind of say there's the immediate effect that there's a hanging. Kwame, and no enough, there's a much more serious one.
Which is?
The serious one is that there be appointees, several appointees of the president, a draw fuel, in two places. One, a castle. There's a well depot there. Well,
at the castle in Osu.
Castle Osu.
Okay.
And there's one at Jubilee House. A honor appointees in the can Kusuani action pump. Now, near the gum. Near the gum. Can't be a baby as with national security. Can't be as we are so much. Carry as minister. A honor and piling up the debt. If the president wants us to take the directive serious, the first and foremost thing which we are throwing the challenge to them is to shut down these two fuel vending points. One at the castle, two at the Jubilee House.
But how sustainable? Because what I say, national security for etmiji fuel. There are certain important people. So, what do you say? They should shut it.
But I'm releasing about it. See, the issue of sustainability, you are directing it to the wrong person. However, you and I can raise the question of the sustainability. Because National Security Coordinator, National Security Interior Minister, all these categories are part of the president's appointees. Into the statement, a bit vague. But you know why we think a sentence, no? We better say a sentence and I say the white drink here gone. And then Abai is introducing the D levy.
Yeah, beginning today.
A bit more friend or death levy. A bit more friend demolition levy. A bit more friend demoralizing levy. A bit more friend doomsday levy. Anything you want to call it. What it means is that and now obi bia auto fuel and driver ni bia auto fuel and bia 1 cedi about the count for every 1 liter of fuel. So when you 1 liter gumi etin Ghana. It is more than a liter. Better 1 gallon. Better 2 gallons. Into one year, obi betini ato fuel ojina pump no na e kan kasa wetia no ye tax keken e be 40 Ghana cedis. Enu nye fuel enu ye tax. Auto fuel one, it affects every facet of society, whether the Okada driver to the Makola trader. Why? Because Obi Biafaka. It won't mean 1% e-levy. Mankoye Momo transaction means e-levy. In fact, under President Akufo-Addo MPP, o send Momo na 100 Ghana and e-levy no. But now no, e-levy na 1%. Manko send Momo Chairman General means here be. But car there, Obi Biani one more, we move from one point to another point. Obetana bibi, obetana motor so, obetana car move. It will affect traders, affect lawyers, affect journalists, affect businessmen, affect everything. It is all levy na abide and then all introduce one of paying. And then normally release a better also our appointees, they say no longer be and give fuel. And I've raised the critical questions as to one who is an appointee in this category. Because you yourself admit that there are some categories of people like that for you to sustain it. Now, police for you, you move for Kromonko, see any fuel. Now, one has a no fuel. Number 2, there are some critical appointees in the discharge of their duties. Aberdeen. Into Abayin for Santi Munimra. But never buy Santi Abayin credit, let's say, is to shut down these two fuel vending points. 1 at the castle, 1 at the Jubilee. See, a 2 and Mudiani was okay, they 2 fuel nibi. Because I know Ghana 4 babes, yes, 1 CD on each liter of fuel. Now, a buying the no say Jubilee House, the castle, on the room to Adiana Yibi.
Peace FM.
Yeah.
These were not the promises the NDC made to us.
Well, near him say your name Minister Kwachu for Subetri come about
and then today, July 16th.
Yeah.
It may interest you to know. Say you found 2.4. In fact, in May 2025, a binding increase electricity tariff by 14.75%, water by 4% in May alone. Kwame, today, you found the 2.45%, that's 14.575 now you on electricity. The electricity tariff alone is 17.2% in less than 3 months. Make sense also no. The whole of last year, electricity and the Akufo-Addo to move just 11%. But you're almost 18%. In fact, the first quarter of last year, you reduced the tariff on electricity for domestic consumers by 6.65. Yes, so. Then what are we seeing? Apart from your money, the account meaning She said, we don't even know see a baby this year. No, not taxes, which new ones are coming. Which is that is open every 2-3 months beyond yet the couple for it also. A by way promises the COVID levy about be. And no more buyer in our quack talk. See what Roma, now I do it. Minority made in Nsem-Pii to just say government must clarify these things for us.